Well, I have a cold. Fuck off. Pokemon is such a big franchise now that it's basically impossible for certain things to be hidden. And while very few people have spoken about this, I don't think it's unfair to say that most casual fans of Pokemon have never heard of Pokemon Chronicles. It was a series of Pokemon episodes not really connected to one another, which basically just said, what if Ash Ketchum for once in his fucking life isn't in this episode?
Hello, what about me?
No, you're not in this episode.
Now, Pokemon had episodes before in certain seasons that didn't have Ash in it, but nothing to this extent, where literally brand new characters who we never see again are introduced. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. There's the movie, The Legend of Thunder, which is just completely brand new characters set in the Johto region. There's a bunch of Misty episodes. I think there's some Brock episodes in there. And of course, the Team Rocket episodes. Truly, there is something for everyone. Also, this episode is really exciting for me to make. Not only because I used to grow up watching these and it's going to be a blast of nostalgia. But also the way it worked is you'd have 3 DVDs corresponding to each starter Pokemon. I never had the Bulbasaur DVD. So there's going to be a bunch of episodes in this I've never seen before, so I'm pretty excited. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive into this strange relic of Pokemon. The thing that really stands out and that I feel like I should talk about first is the Raikou movie. This is a Pokemon movie with this brand new guy called Jimmy, our main character, getting mixed up in a plot by Team Rocket to capture the legendary Pokemon Raikou by using this special crystal they invented to beat it. The crystal uses this special MacGuffin that deflects Raikou's attacks right back at him, so, you know, he can't win. Fair, another thing I can give this film credit for is the new Team Rocket. It really isn't much, but trust me, in this franchise, just adding new characters is a blessing sent from God. They're nothing too special. I mean, this woman has a personality as interesting as a Parastratiocephacomia Stratiostephcomoides, also known as a fucking fly. And I would have much more preferred someone like Jesse and James or Cassidy and Butch who had a level of charm, but I guess they're fine as well. So let's take a look at our cast then. We have a refreshingly cocky protagonist compared to Ash's wet lettuce of a personality. We basically have a slightly worse version of Misty. She's not bad, but she's not good. And then there's Vincent, who is basically just the comic relief, and he's not very good at it. He also has this love thing going on with Marina, and there's like this love triangle between the three, but it's not really explored ever. Another thing I like about this movie is how Raikou is presented. One thing that always confused me about Pokemon is the huge gap in intelligence between them all. Most Pokemon act like normal animals, whilst others are just basically humans with powers, fully capable of speech and all. I can appreciate how Raikou, even being a legendary, is just as dumb and just as savage as normal Pokemon. Like, Jimmy tries to run over and do that girl thing where it's like, this isn't you, Raikou. I'm just trying to help. And he just fucking blasts him. Like, what if, God forbid, that he killed him? What would have happened? Would he have just walked away? So the movie's plot isn't that interesting. It just consists of a back and forth between Team Rocket and the gang with Raikou in the middle. And for what it's worth, I'd say the movie is semi-entertaining. Obviously, the good guys win and Raikou is saved, but it's really nice to see this little microcosm of the Pokemon world that we sadly never see again. And that's honestly how you can describe the whole special. It's just a bunch of corners of the Pokemon world which are really interesting, but sadly we're never going to see them again. So another episode that really stands out to me is definitely the Brock episode. It follows Brock's journey back home, I'm assuming after the hoeing season, only to find that his mother has completely transformed the pewter gym from a rock gym to a water gym. And I'm just going to get this out the way first. Brock's mom is a fucking MILF. Just come on. And yeah, it's a pretty good episode. Brock has to have a battle with his mom's water type Pokemon to win the gym back, and it's, you know, all around pretty entertaining. Another cool thing about this episode is there isn't really a villain. The mom isn't malicious in any way. She's just very bubbly and gets a bit pushy sometimes, but it's never presented as her being a bad guy. Her husband just needs to grow a fucking spine. So overall, it's a great episode. Very fun. So the next episode after that is about Misty returning to the Cerulean Gym after fear that this agency will shut them down if it's not up to par. She gets back to discover that her Gyarados is incredibly stressed for some reason and she needs to find a way to calm it down. Another thing this episode taught me is that Pokemon can just refuse to come back into their Pokeball. Also, what's strange about this episode is it really goes like a little bit in depth about how Misty's deep-rooted fear of Gyarados is and how she feels like she can't do anything on her own and needs Ash and Brock in order to do anything important. And it's obviously presented in a not deep way, but it's still there. So the bad guys of this episode are Kim, Tall Guy, and Fat Guy, who are actually bad guys in a previous episode of the actual anime. That's a pretty cool bringing back old characters from the actual show to star in this. Especially characters so obscure, like I genuinely don't remember these guys. So they challenge her to a duel for ownership of the gym. Obviously Misty wins and that's the end of it. Still an alright episode, just not as good as the Brock one. But here we go. This is an episode I remember, the Team Rocket episode. So this follows Team Rocket flying away as usual after being beat and landed in this isolated village of people who mistake them for being heroes of a prophecy and mistake the R on their shirts for the word righteous. Team Rocket then accidentally saves them from this big robot contraption that appears, cementing them more as heroes in the people's eyes. These robots apparently have been attacking the village a lot, so they go up to this creepy castle to see the mad scientist who's been making all these robots, to find out that he actually just wanted to make the robots to help the people, and that they weren't actually destroying the crops but helping the villagers with farming. And of course the villagers would think they're attacking them. They're isolated, they have no technology, they wouldn't know that it's trying to help them. Why are these episodes actually good? I don't know if it's all the videos I've done on shit things, but these episodes are actually really clever and well made, and it's putting me on edge a little bit. I don't like it. They can't all be this good. So then a huge flock of swallows shows up and Team Rocket defeats them with the help of the scientist. Fair enough. Good episode. 7 out of 10. And my anxiousness has been proven right because this next episode is a bit shit. I know, we were doing so well. It's just about Cassidy and Butch trying to steal Professor Oak's Pokemon and just fucking it up every time. And that's the episode. As in, that's it. Done. There's no plot. There's no really any new characters. It's just slapstick, if anything. It's like a fucking Roadrunner cartoon. Let's quickly move on. Hopefully the next episode will bring us back on course. The next episode is interesting, I guess. It's a Misty episode again, and the plot is she's run out of gym badges and has to go to a specific artist out in the middle of nowhere to get some more. Now, to be fair, this is a pretty interesting concept for an episode. The issue is how they execute it. The issue is they have no idea how to carry on the story past the initial plot point, so when they get there, they decide that the old man forces them to make the badges themselves for some reason, and then gets them to battle him for some reason. Like, I don't know how important gyms are in this world, but I can only assume that they're pretty fucking important. That would be like an owner of a petrol station running out of petrol, so he goes to the supplier who's an old man and he goes, "You must go to the Middle East and dig it up yourself, then refine it." Can I say that? I don't know. Carry on. And then he realises Misty's Psyduck can't swim, so he decides to not give them the badges. It's like, just fucking give it them. They made them. What's wrong with you? I can't be asked to finish the summary. She gets the badges and that's the end of it. Who would have guessed? Plot twist of the century. Not a good episode, honestly. More entertained by the thousands of women popping up left, right and centre who are all in my area ready to fuck. It's another Cassidy and Butch episode, and just like the last one, it's fucking boring. It's a shame. I remember the Cassidy and Butch episodes being really good, but I guess not. I think it partly has to do with Richie, who I haven't even mentioned up until now because of how boring he is. As in, he's literally just Ash. The whole point of this fucking special is that Ash isn't in it, and yet they still have Richie, who is just Ash too. He even has a Pikachu and everything. The only difference is he has a little fucking tuft of hair. Fuck Richie, man. All my homies hate Richie. And the next episode has Richie in it. And only Richie this time. So let's just move it along. There we go. Finally, a serviceable episode that has an actual plot. So Cassidy and Butch are trying to steal a Pokemon that is so forgettable I genuinely can't remember its name. It's this one. And to be fair, I actually really like this scene because it's like, with Team Rocket, it always just feels like it's just two people. But then with scenes like this where they're like, there's an undercover agent, even though they're working at the equivalent of like fucking Burger King, I really do like enjoy that. I think it was in the Unova region, there was something like that with Team Rocket as well, where they went to like a coffee shop and there was someone undercover there who gave them like a coffee that had a message in it. I don't know, I like that. I don't know why. So Misty gets an invitation by this guy who has a crush on her to battle, and if he wins, they both go on a date. Also, this girl is in the episode, and her name is Casey, and she's probably got more personality than any character ever in the history of this franchise, even though she's a little bit annoying. So it turns out that this creepy guy is the Delcatty that Cassidy and Butch want to steal, so they steal it, Misty fights them, and then they fight. Great start, just very slow at the end. For a lot of these episodes, it really does feel like they come up with a whole plot, then just add fight scene goes here, that should cover us for the last 10 minutes of the episode, because they usually do. The fight scenes go on for ages. I can't call it filler, because it's not, but it feels like it. So this next one, this is where it kicks up a notch. It's a Team Rocket backstory episode, and it is very good. It shows how Jesse, James and Meowth met and how they grew a connection together. It shows their initial squabbling and their slow trust of one another, their promise to each other how they'll never let each other down, and then James's sacrifice to save the other two from getting hurt. And it's just like, how in one episode does this connection feel more real and fluent than any connection Ash has ever had over the whole series? So James comes back to help the team out during their last final exam, because I guess this is a school technically, and they face off against Cassidy and Butch. James and Meowth fall again, mimicking what happened before where James had to sacrifice himself. But this time, Jesse and Meowth work together to save James, and why is there so much sexual tension here? This is a kid's show. And they end up winning the exam and becoming fully fledged Team Rocket members. Now, I haven't watched every episode, but I'm pretty sure this one will be one of the best, if not the best. Again, the next episode isn't that good, and I can't really be arsed. Let's just move on. And I've started to notice how downhill the episodes have gotten. I must have gone through 4 and just skipped over them because of how boring they were. Like, I can't make any good comments about them. Most of them were just preset characters like Professor Oak and some new character we'll never see again they can't carry a good episode. Some were with Richie, who's just Ash but worse. There are some episodes that have no humans and it's just Pokemon, which I just instantly skip over. And then even worse is some of Meowth episodes. Like, why? He's an alright character, but he's not that good. But other than that, I'd say this special might just be a diamond in the rough that more people might have to check out, especially fans of Pokemon who just want something different. Game Freak and Pokemon as a franchise, I would definitely say, is the most laziest company of all time, never straying from the predetermined path they've set that makes them boatloads of money. So overall, I would rate this whole special a good 7 out of 10. There are some very, very good episodes that kept me entertained the whole way through, but there were some others that just didn't. And remember, I did miss out quite a few episodes that could end up being your favourites, so if you are a fan of Pokemon, I would definitely recommend this special to you. Anyway guys, that's the end of today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Sorry for this episode coming out so late, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!